and welcome to Hot Money on Bloomberg Quint Live, India's first digital live streaming business news service. This is a show which gets you a complete wrap of all the stocks that are buzzing in trade. I'm Darshan Mehta. Let's welcome our experts, and joining us on the show today, our technical analyst and mentor NS Fidai, Raja Venkatraman of Chart Advice, and Amit Shah of Indiabulls Venture. Thank you all for joining me on the show. Before we get in the analyst, Yash Upadhyay is here with a first chart of the show, and it's on Balkrishna Industries. Yash, good afternoon. What does the chart indicate?
Good afternoon, Darshan. It's a buy call coming in on Balkrishna Industries, and yet again we're using one of your favorite indicators, which is the fear and greed indicator. So as you can see in the lower panel is the fear and greed indicator, and after a very long time, at least since the start of the month of November, is the first time that the fear and greed indicator has turned positive, and we are seeing an additional confirmation coming on the charts is with the formation of a piercing candle pattern. Now, what it essentially is, you need to understand two parts to it. One is that the bullish candle, which is right after the red candle over here, that should close more than 50% higher than the level of the bearish candle. And secondly, the stock would have to open a gap down, and the gap would be filled by the bulls in the next trading day. Now what we are seeing is that with that pattern forming, the stock has been moving up, and for the last 3 trading sessions we are seeing, on the back of heavy volume based activity as well, the stock has crossed up, and the fear and greed indicator too suggesting a positive call. So watch out for Balkrishna Industries.
Yeah, so okay, Yash, if you backtrack this with the historical data, every time this indicator turned, what would be the average return?
So 3 out of the last 5 times, Darshan, that the indicator has turned positive, it would have given you positive returns of close to 4% over the next 10 trading sessions.
Okay, that's the view that's coming in. Thank you so much for that, Yash. NS, good morning. What's your view on Balkrishna Industries?
Yeah, Darshan. Yeah, I expect it to go upside probably, and it's a bounce actually, because it has fallen large way. From 1150 it has come down almost to 750, so a little retracement is due, and this can go, I believe it has a resistance around 50 DEMA at 875. So that would be the area where one should book profits probably.
Okay, so for short term you believe a bounce can come in?
Yeah, it's in a bounce. Last 2 days it has been rising. Today also it is in good shape.
Okay, Raja, what's your view?
Yeah, after declining over the last 7 months by more than 50%, the stock is definitely getting into oversold, and the weekly closing is what I would wait. And I can see a bullish engulfing pattern which is developing on the weekly charts. And if it closes above 870, it's a very, very strong candidate for a buy.
Okay, so at this point you won't buy?
At this point I won't buy. I'll wait for a weekly closing above 870.
Okay, and what about you, Amit?
Yeah, I mean, it's bouncing from some important areas, it's also bouncing from the weekly 200 EMA. Also on the daily, there's a nice clouding, piercing pattern, as Yash was mentioning. So yes, and also it's now moving above its 20 EMA on the daily charts. So it is suggesting a up move. I think a move towards 920 is very much possible.
Okay, that's the view. It's a positive view that's coming in on Balkrishna Industries. Let's begin with our analyst. First up is NS Fidai, who has a chart on Zee Entertainment. Let's pull up the chart. It's been extremely volatile. The counter did manage to fall significantly in today's trade, and then has managed to rebound post the exchange notification that came in that the promoters have sold in 8 lakh shares in the company. But is it a buy or a sell for you, Pidai?
It's a sell actually call, according to me. See, there is lots of confluence. I would have loved to sell on when it rises. So anything around 435 would be a good area, because there are so many resistances. This trend line is now coming, it's a beautiful resistance area, which is also coinciding with the major top of this major big candle that happened, plus the resistance line from the top. So basically what is happening is, and even if you look at this is a rising wedge kind of pattern. So it's like a triangular pattern, and it is constricting. When this happens, this basically, for viewers I can guide them, this whenever you see this kind of pattern, it is a distribution pattern. So stock gets distributed and then again it is dumped. Probabilities today tested this our first target logically, and now if it comes to 435, 438, you can go short and keep a stop loss above 454.2. Okay, so, and even 444, 446 should be a good stop loss right now, and we expect if it breaks this, then probably it can come down to 350 also.
Okay, is there any technical indicator that you've used, or these
I
trend
have
lines?
used basically the trend lines and the pattern actually, and this pattern is called a rising wedge. So I'm using the power of technical trend line, trend line levels plus the rising wedge.
Okay, so is it more like a short-term trade, positional trade? What
You can take it as a positional trade for 2-3 weeks actually.
Okay, what's the strict stop loss? 450, you said.
452 should be the strictest, and 444, 440.
Would you suggest shorting here or wait for 435?
We wait for 435, or if it starts falling below this, that would be a good opportunity.
This
Somebody
means
who
which
wants to
level?
trade on intraday basis, now they should be looking at this at 400. So any close below 400 would be a good opportunity to go short and maybe cover up at maybe 435 or even lower than.
335.
Yeah, 350 then.
350 then. Okay. Thanks so much for that, NS. Raja, what's your view on Zee? It's been all over the place. What would your suggestion be?
Yeah, in the third week of Jan, the strong decline which we saw. After that, there has not been much of follow-through, and subsequently on the weekly charts, we are witnessing a bullish harami pattern, which is a reversal pattern. And as per my pitchfork study, it has also crossed the median line. So I can actually be a contra here and suggest a buy opportunity with a target towards say 470 region.
Okay.
With a stop loss below 380.
Would you buy at this level or wait?
Yes, I would like to buy at this level.
Okay, so contrarian view coming in, and Amit, what's your view?
No, I would avoid a buy on this one. I think the structure has been damaged in this. Yes, from the lows, of course, a strong bounce has already come. It may still further go up a bit, but I would look to short this one on declines, on weakness basically. So a move below 385 is where I would actually go ahead and short this stock, with a stop loss of about 410. And look for targets of sub 330 and even possibly 300 rupees.
Okay, so that's the view that's coming in on Zee Entertainment. We're getting contrarian view on the counter. The next stock that we want to talk about is Sun Pharma, and Raja has a view on Sun Pharma. Is it a positive view or it's a negative view?
Yeah, it's a positive view. After the decline which we saw since September, the stock started actually losing out its weakening, and actually it began strengthening. And you can see here that I have used the concept of RSI here, which is the momentum indicator on the bottom panel. And you can see that the RSI is now beginning to come up. And what I have used here is a concept of RSI which is called as divergence. Which is that the prices are trying to go lower, but the RSI is trying to come up, which indicates that there is some bullish momentum getting built. This was seen much before the results came out. And now with the positive news flow also coming in, it's a good potential reversal candidate.
Okay, so what level would you recommend buying this at this level?
Yeah, I would recommend
because it's come off the day's high now. It's
come off the day's high, yes.
At the day's low. Would you buy at this level? Would you wait for it?
It's actually come down to my dip levels which I had suggested in the morning. So actually you can look to buy now. Dip levels are around 430. Stop loss below 415 with an upside towards 500 to 525.
Okay, so this looks more like a positional trade.
Yeah, you could take an intraday play also, because you get good movements in Sun Pharma.
Okay, that's the view. Okay, thank you so much for that. NS, what's your view on Sun Pharma? It's now at the day's low.
Yeah.
Would you buy at this
Today's
level?
high would be acting as a very strong resistance, because that is also coinciding with the large two candles that we saw earlier that happened on 17th Jan, 17th and 18th Jan, that we had seen major fall in the stock. And that is also coinciding with today's high. And actually today's high is a bit lower than that day's high, and that will act as a very strong resistance right now. So I would suggest to go short in this area, probably around 455, and maybe cover up at something like 420. That would be a good.
At this level, would you do anything?
I wouldn't do anything right now.
Okay, Amit, what's your view on Sun Pharma?
Yeah, so see, last 5 months monthly candles, if you see, it's been making lower lows and lower highs, Only above 458 and 460, that region, if it actually goes above that region, then it reverses this last 5 months of trend of falling. So in that case, yes, a pullback can materialize towards 480, 490 kind of levels. But as of now, I would avoid taking any positions in Sun Pharma.
Okay, so that Raja is believing that Sun Pharma should be bought. The other two guests are not taking positions at this point of time. They're waiting out and seeing what exactly is happening with the counter. And the last stock, at least for this round, is UPL. And Amit is here with the chart. Pull up the chart. What's the trend indicating? It's a buy as per ADX. Can you explain why you're bullish and what this ADX trend indicates?
Sure. So ADX trend, basically, this is the ADX, the white line that we are seeing. It's moving up. ADX trend indicator indicates that whether the trend is trending either direction of the trend. It could be a downtrend. In a downtrend, it could be strong. Even in an uptrend, it could be strong. So gradually, the ADX is rising along with a tight consolidation breakout. Breakout has already happened. And now again a test of it yesterday, and now today again what we are seeing is a rebound from the breakout zone. So it's a nice setup. Your trend is strengthening. The breakout happened. It tested it today. It's bouncing back from the breakout zone. So it's a nice setup. Overall, the trend even preceding that the consolidation range here, if we see, the trend was very, very strong. All these such large bull candles, they do indicate that bulls are in power into the stock. So it's a good buy, I would say.
What's the levels that you're looking at? So
it has already moved up as we talk from the recommendation levels, but still we have a target of 850 on the upside with a stop loss of 779. So even during the intraday small dips, if you get one should utilize the dips to buy the stock with the target of 850.
Okay, 850. What's the time frame that you're looking at?
This probably should happen in a week or two.
Okay, thank you so much for that, Amit. Raja, what's your view on UPL? Would you be a buyer?
UPL is definitely positive. On the weekly charts, it's showing a inverted head and shoulder pattern, and the breakout which we have seen above 800 has been quite strong. So the continuous movement on the upside which has been seen on UPL should be encashed, and one could actually look even on dips towards the 800 region with the stop loss below 780 for an upside towards 875.
Okay, that's about it. What about you, NS?
Yeah, I would be bullish on this. If it crosses 830, I would become more bullish. Rather, it would gain momentum, and it should go all the way up to 900 then. Because the stock has been one of the solid stocks in the current volatile markets. So it's a good bet if people can go long and keep a stop loss to today's low of 800.
Okay, that's the view. So it's a bullish call that's coming in on UPL. Let's begin with the second round of chart with our guest, and this time NS Vidai, he's here. He has a chart. Let's pull up the chart. We can see what exactly the chart is. It's a buy on Indiabulls real estate. Why are you bullish on it?
Well, if you see Indiabulls real estate, RSI is giving a positive divergence. Though if you see when do we see a positive divergence is, see if this is the low, this is the lower low, and that is the most lowest low, this happened over here, right, around 62. So though prices are falling, RSI has made a higher low. And that shows the RSI is gaining strength. And if you see, it is a multiple bottom area in this area, plus it has made a doji and it has sustained in this area. Today also it tried to give a bit upside, but it is facing a bit resistance. Rather, I would buy around 62, 63 in this area, which is a support area. So your risk becomes lowest. You are at a risk of only 2-3 rupees from there. So, and if it goes from here, probability is it will come down, or it will come all the way up to 81 rupees. So this will be the trend line that will act as a resistance. Okay, and if it crosses 81, there is an upside for almost 100 plus.
Okay, so you would not buy at this level, or should you?
I would buy, and I would like to add around 60 to 63. That would be the most preferable area.
Okay, what's the potential timeline in which your levels?
You can say it is in 1 to 3 weeks that can happen up to 81. But if it crosses 81, then you can see.
Are volumes also indicating that since it's not in the FNO right now? You need to look at volumes. Are volumes picking up?
Volumes are not picking up right now. They are dry. That's the reason, I would like to buy near the support, so it becomes the less risk.
Okay.
So what I would like in this market, we would like to go for stocks which are in low risk area rather than to buy on breakouts, because when breakouts, we have seen most of the breakouts get failed. So rather go for a lowest risk area. From if there you get a bounce from there, your risk is limited and you get a multiple reward, 1:4, 1:5.
What's the stop loss for this?
This is 61.50.
Okay, 61.50.
Yeah, so you just risk only 1.5 rupees or 2 rupees only when you buy around 62, 63. So you are not risking too much.
Okay, thanks for that so much. It's at 68. Raja, would you buy Indiabulls real estate at 68?
The stock has, on the weekly charts, I'm seeing that the last 5 months, the stock has been struggling to hold on to its lows. So I would not be a buyer here. I would rather look to sell it if it breaks the 64 region.
Okay, that's the view. And Amit, what's your view?
Sorry, I cannot comment on Indiabulls.
Sorry, sorry. So that Amit cannot comment on it. That's the view that's coming in on Indiabulls real estate. Next, again, we have a sell call on Tata Chemicals. Raja, let's pull up the chart and what does this indicate?
See, on the Tata Chemical has been on a decline over the last few months, and now what we are seeing is a channel breakdown. And out here you can see a long body decline, which is indicating of strong bearish presence in the stock. And now you can see a follow through out here. So this is the chart setup. Along with this, I have taken the help of momentum indicators and used the concept of ADX DMI. And I can see here that the negative DMI is increasing. It's actually rising, which says that the selling pressure is building up in this counter. So all this suggests that there could be more pressure on this stock and it could drag it lower.
Okay, that's the view that's coming in. It's at 570 right now. What's the target? What's the stop loss?
Yeah, the one could actually look to sell at current levels. Could you rally towards 590? Use a stop loss above 603 for a drop towards 480.
480, that means a potential almost 100
480 to 500, yeah.
Almost 80 to 100. Can you give us a sense on how these two lines were formed? How did you arrive at that?
I have used these set of lows, connected these lows, connected these highs.
Okay.
So it's actually moved in a wave fashion. Set of V's
and you're
A's.
saying it's broken the wave?
Yeah, it's broken this channel basically. So now actually potential target is around 100 points from here.
Okay, thank you so much for that. It's at 570. NS, what's your view on Tata Chemicals?
Well, I would like to actually go long right now at this current level around 568, 516 and keep a stop loss at 563.
Okay.
And take a call of like a contra on here and maybe exit around 590 for a quick trade. And you can go short near 610. That would be a better area to go short.
Okay, that's the view that's coming in. So basically, it's an how long is it, an intraday play or a
this could be a 2-3 days play.
Okay, and then at high levels you would short.
Yeah.
Okay, Amit, what's your view?
Yeah, so see, the stock had been in a range for last 1 year between 790 and 650 on the downside. So it was a range which has now broken down. There's no doubt it's a weak stock. Further downside is likely, but I would wait for a sizable up move to actually go short on this one. So I would look somewhere in the region of 610, 615. If at all it moves towards those region, keep a stop of about 635 on this one and go short with a target of 530.
Okay, so that's the view that's coming in. Again, it's Raja's view that you should go short on it, but the other two guests believe that short this counter, but only at higher levels, not at this level. And to final chart of the day, at least from our analyst before Yash comes in, and it's a chart on EIH Hotels, not very well discussed or spoken about, but yes, what's the view that's coming out, Amit?
Sure. Yeah. So EIH Hotel, in this phase, it made an all-time high. Very few stocks among the hotel stocks, or even in the current scenario, even among the mid caps and the small caps, very few stocks which are actually trying to break out on the all-time highs. This suggests definitely there's a good amount of strength in the stock. This phase of up move, then a consolidation, now a breakaway gap along with a large candle with this candle has a very strong volume. This definitely indicates bull power for the stock. And if we can have the monthly chart as well. Yeah. So this is also a monthly long-term chart. Long-term consolidation has been done with an up move, then again a tight consolidation, continuation on up move. Again the consolidation is about to break out on the upside. So all time frames basically it indicates the trend is on the upside.
Okay, so it's a positive view that's coming in. What's the target? What's the stop loss that you're looking at?
Sure, 1 second. And beyond that, we expect the stock to go towards 250 as well. Keep a stop of 172 on this one.
Okay, then thanks so much for that. NS, what's your view on EIH? Would you buy?
Yeah, EIH is consolidating well after a strong breakout. It gave a false kind of breakout around 210 and then dipped back to 186, 187. So it is a good bet. You can buy here, and maybe buy on dips up to 185 and keep a stop loss below 180.
Okay.
And on the upside, you can see probably 210, 215 first thing. If it crosses 220, then you can expect even like 250 or even higher levels.
Okay, what about you, Raja? What's your view on
Yeah, the stock has been ranging and not much of action has been seen. So I would not participate in the stock right now.
Okay, that's the view that's coming in on EIH. And finally, before we end the show, Yash is back again here with a chart on Havells. Yash, what does the chart indicate?
Afternoon, Darshan. So a sell signal could probably trigger for Havells India, and we're using yet again your favorite indicator, which is the trender indicator. The green line over here, which is at the mark of about 701. The stock is currently at 704.6, which is very close or within 1% of where the trender line is. Its intraday low was below the trender line, so should it manage to close below the mark of 701, the trender line would flip its color from green to red, and we could possibly see a big down move for the stock.
What's the historical trend been like for if the color changes?
So 80% of the times that the indicator has turned positive, negative, Darshan, it would have given you positive returns on the downside of close to 6.5% over the next 10 trading sessions. So it's very sensitive in the short term as well.
Okay, that's the view that's coming in at 705. What would you do, NS? Havells?
We can go short, but for a very nominal target actually. And that too, if it starts trading below 700 for target of 685 or 688. And rather that would be a good area to go long. I would be going long around 688. So yes, what Yash has said, we can go short, but if it trades below 700 and for 10-12 rupees probably on the downside.
Okay, Raja, what's your view?
Yeah, the weekly candle is definitely indicating weakness, and also with the development of bearish engulfing pattern, it looks like a good potential sell candidate, like NS mentioned, below 700. And with the negative divergence also coming in play, it could be a good sell candidate if the market looks to get more weak.
Okay, and Amit, do you also see a sell call on this?
No, I don't actually, because the overall trend is quite positive on this one. What we are seeing is, I think, just a small correction of an overall, and it's been it's the first correction after making all-time high. So I think there's a good amount of strength in the stock. Yes, trading downside can always happen for some 3-4%. That's okay, but overall the trend is strong. I would actually look for opportunities to go long on this one once a first indication of reversal happens.
Okay, that's the view that's coming in on all the 8 stocks that we spoke about. And before we end, we'll just ask our view on the market to our guests. So NS, I think it's the first week of the weekly expiry on the Nifty.
Yeah.
Any call on that? Any option that our viewers can take to play for tomorrow?
Seriously, I'm not looking at Nifty right now because there are better trades available on cash stocks. Like I have discussed too, they are very beautifully, and even the Tata Chem that we just saw, it is available at a very, very low risk. So it's a beautiful opportunity to go long over there for quick money.
Overall, what's your view on the Nifty? You expect it to be range bound?
Like it's range bound right now. So if you can, like if it gives a breakout above the nearest high, 11,100 and maybe 20, that was the nearest high. If it crosses, then yes, probably, as I already said, I would be looking at 11,300. So people who are looking at selling calls and all that, they can look at selling 11,100 call by keeping a stop loss on cash market or cash spot Nifty at 11,150 probably.
Okay, Raja, what's your view on any option that someone could buy or any call that or put someone can write?
Right now, the market is in a range, so one should actually be looking to initiate some range-based strategies. So the range which I envisage for the Nifty is around 10,700 to 11,000. So 300-point range. So one could actually look to do some strangle or straddle out for this range.
Okay,
that's the expectation for the FEB series.
Okay, and what about you, Amit?
Yeah, I mean, frankly, this is not a market to trade for the index. It's very, very range bound. Last week, during the intra-week, market did try and clear the 11,000 mark on the upside and break out, but it's not sustaining. Again, it has come back into the range. So probably, the index trading should best be avoided at this juncture.
Okay, that's the view that's coming in. But with that, it's a wrap on today's edition of Hot Money. Many thanks to all of my guests, NS, Raja, Amit, thank you so much for coming in. Ask BQ comes up next. Stay tuned to Bloomberg Quint.